Okay, the tools you're going to need to do this job are pretty basic. You're going to need a set of Allen keys. I can't remember which size it is exactly, but it's one of the smaller ones. A pair of channel locks, or even better, if you've got a strap wrench. There's a little nut we're going to need to take off, and of course the trusty old Phillips screwdriver. So pretty basic, not a whole lot of tools you're going to need, but if you have those, you can do this job fairly easy. All right, step one in this whole process is going to be to shut down the main water supply line. So it's fairly simple. Here you see the meter coming into your house. If you don't know where the water supply line is, typically it's going to feed into the meter here. So if we just go down this valve right here, and just turn it so it's 100% 90 degrees, and that's in the off, and the feed coming in, it'll be probably through the ground in the basement and going directly to the water meter first stop, so it's usually fairly easy to find. All right, after we have the main water to the house turned off, the next step is going to be to bleed the lines down. So we're just going to turn the water on until don't have any left in there. It's also a good idea to flush the toilet too, just helps drain that much more. Make sure that everything's bled out as best as possible. If you have a washroom in the basement, that's probably the best place to drain the lines because it's the lowest point, but if not, just do it in the bathroom that you're working in. So we just drained the water out of the taps. Now it's a good idea to put a towel down over the drain in the bottom. To me, I just put the plug in, so it's basically if you drop any of the screws or anything, they won't fall into the drain. So I just put the plug down and that should be good enough. Start by taking off the face plate. Cordless drill would make this much faster. All right. Actually, this isn't step one, this is actually probably step two. Step one, I should have taken the handle off first here. Now, the whole reason why I'm changing this cartridge out, sometimes, or most of the time, people are changing out because it's leaky, but in our case, the handle has a severe wiggle, and the cartridge actually, the piece where the handle goes on is made out of brass or copper, and the casting actually wore out. So just take the handle off. Since we have the water off, we can turn it up. All right, I just wanted to show you guys, there's a little hole in there. Don't know if the light is good enough, but basically there's a little hole in the handle. And with the water turned off, you can actually just turn the handle straight up like that. Just put the Allen key in, turn the nut, and you can take it off. Now, lots of times that'll be corroded, so just have to clean it out. Vinegar works good, or CLR maybe, but there's a little set screw in there. I promise you it takes an Allen key. Just find the right one and back that screw out. See, but you can see the inside of our handle is fine. There's really it's not worn out at all, and you can see, I don't know if you can see in the camera or not, but right here is where the set screw comes in. It pinches against the lever. Alright, I'm going to show you guys what the start of this whole problem is. You can see right there on this, it's all worn, and that piece is made out of brass or copper, so it's worn smooth. So that's where the set screw from the handle goes in, and it must have been a little bit loose, and with the kids turning the tap on and off so much and being loose, that set screw is basically worn a groove in that piece, so the handle won't stay tight anymore. If I put the handle on reverse, I can tighten it up, but then the hot, cold, and all the rest of it doesn't make any sense, and it's just nice to have that fixed. So basically, to fix this problem, we have to pull out the cartridge, and like I said, most people change the cartridge out because their shower's leaking, but in this case, it's because the handle's loose, and it's gotten so loose that you can almost pull it off without undoing the set screw. Okay, so the next step in this whole process here is to get this ring off. Okay, the next piece you want to take off is this little ring. Strap wrench or your channel locks will take that off. I'm lucky that wasn't on there very tight. Sometimes that stuff can be really tough to get off. Alright, so let's just try. There's even like a little slot in the top here, not sure if you can see from that angle, where a screwdriver blade can go in. Just give you a little bit of leverage. So this other piece on this side got stuck in the fixture. We're gonna have to try to get that out. I have to get a pair of needle nose pliers now. All right, see if I can try. Oh, that came out easy. Thankfully, this wasn't stuck in there. It just popped off the end of here for some reason. So that would have been on there like that before. Probably a good thing we're changing this out if that was that loose, but yeah, see it's just sitting around there. The other one's tight on there, so I don't know. Anyway, it's probably about time this cartridge got changed out anyways. Alright, so that is the inside of the tap. You'll see these two things just plugged into there. So we'll get the new part, and I'll show you what part number you should be using here. Okay, so if you have a newer Delta faucet, for sure this will be the cartridge. Some of the older ones, they might look similar, but the length of these little guys here is different. I'll just show you the part number real quick. What I would really suggest is taking your old one out, going to the hardware store and getting the right one right off the hop if you're not sure. There's I think 4 or 5 different cartridge models that Delta makes, and they carry them all the way back to stuff that was made in the 60s. So anyways, that's the cartridge we're using for this tap. Alright, so the next step in all of this is to get the cartridge in. Now, how do you know which side to put in? I'm not sure if you can see on here or not. Try to zoom in. See, there's a big H and it says hot side. More or less, this side, the hot's always on the left side of these things. Now, if you're not sure, you can always check it up against the ring plate at the back, but this is the way it's going to go in. Pretty straightforward, really. Just go ahead and slide this in, but make sure we're on the hot side still. Yeah. All right, so we just got to make sure this is in alignment here. And you can see these little divots, those will line up. So as long as you got the hot and cold on the right side, you should be able to just pop that in. Alright, so the one thing I learned from this, I shouldn't have actually taken this cover plate off, because this plate actually holds this mechanism in. So basically when I push this in, it's pushing into the wall. So I need this plate on there to actually hold it from falling out. for pushing back in. So lesson learned. I'll put this back in, and I think I can. I don't think you actually need to pull this plate off after I got looking at it. Let's get these started. I'll put this on next. So that was only hand tightened last time. If I had a strap wrench, I'd give it a little more tightness, but it should be all right. It was no more tight than that when I took it off. Okay, I did use a channel box just to give it a little extra tight, and just so this would get seated fully back in there. Now I was right, we do need to have that trim piece off, because this piece does have this foam flange back there, I guess, to stop the water or whatnot. So I'll pull this off real quick, but I did need to put that back on just so I could get the and then on the piece here, that's obviously got to line up with the screws at the end of the day. So I'm just going to try to, well, that's much easier to put that back on with when you actually have a little bit of grease to smooth things along. Okay, we'll put this back on. All right. Just do a little test fit on the handle here now. Okay, that's the off. Hot, cold. Okay, I'm just going to give this a test before I tighten this up. Make sure the hot water works. All right, turned it on, it works. There's no leaks or anything, but I did figure one thing out. I couldn't get the handle over far enough to get the water hot. So I got looking, and the way you adjust that, you pull this out, pull this out towards you. You can just do it with your fingers like this, and then you just twist it over. And there's a bunch of gears in here, so it actually locks it in to how hot basically you want to make your water. Okay, I think that's locked in there. Okay, I'm just going to test that and make sure it's hot enough for what we want. Okay, so I just got the temperature adjusted. Now time to put the handle back on, and we should be all but done here. So the water is back on at this point. And just once again, just set the screw. I'll tighten that back up. Now that I've got the tub full of water here. Set the screws back on. Let's just give her one final test. Here's the final test. Nice and hot. Shower works. All right, I think we're in business.